Hello, you're listening to WHPK, Chicago 88.5 FM, the pride of the South Side. This is
Finders Keepers. We finally have a name.
Which is great. Rhea, why did you come up with this brilliant name? Tell us.
When I first proposed this show to WHPK god Alex Tao,
Thank you.
I really just wanted to learn more about music because I don't listen to that much of it. So I was like, how do I find new music for myself to listen to and enjoy? And also, like, what makes that music special to other people? Why do they listen to it? Why do they keep it in their playlists, in their homes, and in their lives? And so, you know, I have a feeling all the songs we've played so far, like, I've kept on my playlist. I listen to them. I listen to Goodums like 3 times
Thank
last
you,
week.
Ishani. I listen to Sligo River Blues.
Yeah.
I think we've had like an incredibly diverse array of music, like week to week. It's just completely different.
But they're songs I keep coming back to because I want to keep listening to specific parts of them.
Yeah. So today, as per usual, we have a lovely guest. Mm-hmm. Do you want to introduce yourself to the people?
How close do I need to be?
Pretty close.
Okay. Hello, I'm Miles.
Hey, Miles.
I'm a crazy Radiohead fan. So that's what I'm sharing with you guys today.
So Radiohead, woo! That you have tattooed a little piece of Radiohead on your body, no?
Yes,
I'm sorry that we can't show your tattoo to our listeners, but once we get a camera here.
I can explain it and low-key, they'll figure it out. So, yeah.
Perfect. So we're gonna play a couple. It's a Radiohead day today. That's what the weather is saying. It's a Radiohead day.
Is that?
Yeah. It really is.
It's making me really excited, like your passion for this artist. Like,
wait, I'm not like
you're
I'm
so
not
committed to Radiohead.
Yeah.
You got him on your body.
Well, yes, but it's more because like I feel like my relationship with the artist is like a conduit for like my relationship with my dad. Yeah. So it's like very sentimental to me. Less so because I'm like the fan of every single Radiohead song.
Right.
But more so because it like means a lot to me. So.
That's awesome. I'm so excited.
Yay. Okay. Well, now we're going to play the first song that Miles has chosen for you guys to hear today. So, yeah, enjoy. Okay, seems like our PSAs are not working, which is really great. I'm gonna figure that out a little bit later. But that was No Surprises by Radiohead.
What do you got for us, Miles?
What do you got for us, Miles? What do you want to tell us?
Okay.
And then we'll just keep chatting.
Well, I suppose this was probably the song that made me realize I had, well, so basically when I was younger, younger, like 4 years old, like my dad would make me mixes because his area of expertise is in, mostly in sound engineering.
Ooh, wait, we need him on the air.
Well, the thing is like, it's actually not really his area. His degree is in business management, but he's been doing like podcasting for a really long time, which is pretty fun. And you know, he also like played music. He played bass. I chose bass not because he chose bass, but it's kind of a coincidence. So yeah, and this was one of like the first songs that would make it onto like my mixes because I was really attracted to it. I mean, when I was younger, I was under the impression that I had this image of like a magenta washed background of just a conveyor belt of like gifts and like presents like under like Christmas tree vibe, except for we're Jewish, so no Christmas tree.
Hanukkah bush.
Yeah, there we go.
Hanukkah bush. Yeah.
Not a real thing.
Totally. And I mean, obviously the song is not about presents, but you know, impressionable little 4-year-old me thought it was. And I just would call it the purple song because I didn't know how to name song. I didn't know songs by their names. I knew songs by what they sounded like to me.
That's so interesting.
Thriller, Michael Jackson. That one was the Hoo Hoo song because he goes Hoo Hoo. But this one was the purple song to me because I have synesthesia, so it sounds.
I was
purple
gonna
to me.
say it's very synesthesia.
Yeah, it sounds purple to me, and that like fascinated my dad. So he thought that was really cool. And actually, ever since then, like 90% of my playlists are based on colors that they make me feel. Like they aren't named the color, but they all sound the same color to me.
All of them, you choose them to be the same color?
Well, because they have the same colors, the same vibe. I
Yeah.
mean, I can pull up my playlist. Whereas this was the one that I used to listen to a lot.
Is it
was called
purple?
Drowsing, and it was a lot of yellow songs, like golden
Oh.
yellow songs, and they made like me feel the same way. And obviously, I think my dad is like attracted to Radiohead as an artist, like a lot, like, because all the songs are sad, and he's low key depressed.
Shout out, Dad.
Yeah.
Shout out him. And so I guess I think that was like our main bonding point when I was younger. It's just music, because it was kind of hard to like I don't have a bad relationship with my parents at all. I think I have a good one. But I think this was just like the main point of bonding for us is Radiohead.
Wow.
So
That's lovely.
Like, I can't believe that you've known this song for like 15 years.
yeah, quite fun. Probably longer, low key. I don't know how long it's been out, but as long as I've been aware of music, I think this and Thriller were probably like the first two songs I was like aware of as songs.
That's so funny because like I'm always thinking about that, or like what songs I recognized 1st. And I feel like for me it's like some random Beatles song and then like whatever was on the pop hits radio in like 2012
Yeah,
or whatever.
me too.
Honestly,
Yeah.
but do you think the color, like the synesthesia thing, is really interesting because that was before you like I don't know. That just makes me. Has the color like changed at all, or is it very consistently magenta?
It's hard to explain. I mean, I think for me, because I know there are some people who like they low-key like commoditize their synesthesia. Like they'll be like, I have synesthesia, watch me make a painting, and based on this song. And I've like never done that because I felt like it was just something interesting where it's like, you know, if something can make you feel something, then the feeling can like transcend like just one sense, which I think is fun. And so for me, I think there are songs where like the longer I listen to them and the more like I can like just recall them from memory, like the color profile of it might be more like complex. It's less like the song itself is just like a block color, like just like one color. It's like it has like kind of its own like painting inside, but like not like a painting that I'd paint. Like it feels like No Surprises to me sounds like magenta in general, but there are shades of like purple, there's indigo, there's fuchsia, there's like random like sparkles of like yellow in there, but overarchingly it's yellow, and to me I feel, sorry, it's magenta and purple, and so I would call it the purple song because I didn't know what magenta was, but I mean I just felt like that was like, yeah. I forgot what the question was. I'm not gonna lie.
No, just like has the color changed? But that's a great answer.
I mean, yeah,
because,
the color has definitely developed. Like I've noticed like yellow flecks in it, but I've always felt that it was purple. And like there are some songs where like my dad, he found that very interesting. So he would ask me what the color of the song was. I was like, I don't know, because I was still thinking about it. Like the color was loading in, or it wouldn't be one color. It would be some mix of like teal and gold, or like green and red, and like some sort of like angry songs. Sometimes they sound like very, very like complicated color wise, and so it's hard to express. But I feel like this song like kind of has like it might have like a complex like emotional profile, but to me it just sounded purple from the chords and from the notes. So
yeah, so I was actually gonna ask, like, you keep saying sound, and like also that like you identify Thriller not by the name but like by what it sounds like, which like when you're listening to this song, are you listening to the words, or are you mostly thinking about, or does your synesthesia when you're listening to a song include how the words dictate the feel of the song, or is it a lot more about the sound itself?
I feel like it's not about the words, like their meaning themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously words, they have sound, like,
yeah,
there's some words that are going to be like more rhythmic and some words that are going to be softer. And so that might have impacted, but obviously like at like my like ripe like 4 years old, I knew what a present was and I knew what a surprise was.
Yeah.
And I could like kind of correlate the two, but I had no idea what carbon monoxide is. So to me it just sounded like a slurry of words. And like like the idea of surprises, like that presented in my mind, like in my imagination, as like actual like boxes of gifts. But I don't think that the words, I feel like a lot of Radiohead songs, like they kind of like blend the words into the music a lot more than the music with the words, which I actually appreciate, because I feel like you can kind of hum along and it'll still express the same feeling. And yeah, I think the color of No Surprises is mostly derived from the music itself and not from the words.
That's awesome. And when you as like a 4-year-old, like presents and gifts I would assume are a really happy thing.
Yes.
But you were saying like Radiohead is sad, and like that's what kind of you associate it with, like, as an artist. So I think it's really interesting that your conception of the song is pretty happy. Would you say that it stayed that way, or did you derive different meaning from it later on in life as you like grew up and knew maybe the difference between happy and sad?
I mean, I think like I kind of realized it was sad, but to me, like, purple as like a color profile, it's like, it's not necessarily, like, it has like sad aspects to it, but it's also got like happy ones. Like, to me, when I taste like dark chocolate, for example, that tastes purple to me, because there's like parts of it that are like sugary and that taste like chocolate, and there are parts of it that are bitter and like kind of like pierce it. So it's kind of like, it's a very like even mix, I would say, like
red and blue.
Yeah,
I feel that's what I think of.
It is kind of red and blue, but it also kind of isn't, because like sometimes, like, I mean, I feel like my conception of like colors from songs is less based on like paint color theory and more it's just like on like, I mean, I probably have like crossed nerves somewhere, like that's probably what it is. But yeah, I feel like Radiohead is a pretty sad artist in general. Like, they're not, they have fun songs, but it's generally about like getting played or like being sad or like, having trouble in a relationship. And I guess like I haven't listened to it like imagining like trouble in a relationship or sadness. Even now, I don't really, I mean, sometimes I'll listen to ones where like the melody kind of is soothing, but I don't feel like,
I feel like this melody is really soothing.
It is. It's very like rhythmic, and like the chords are really satisfying, and So the color is a lot more soothing to me than the fact that it's about like, you know, being disappointed by a lover.
Yeah. I love that Radiohead is like just not sad to you. Like that's awesome.
It can be sad. It's just the sadness of it is not as important to me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you can still appreciate someone else's sadness without having to be sad yourself.
Yeah. That's so cool. Wow.
Yes.
A little glimpse into what it's like to live with synesthesia.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! No, it's really... I don't know, I feel like... Maybe I'm speaking too broadly, but I feel like everyone definitely imagines things when listening to songs. It's just, like, what that is that's very different. I feel like some people either have, like, a memory or, like, an emotional state or, like, an individual attached to a song, but the idea of... like, since you were so young, having this, like, these, like, waves of color attached to music is so interesting, and I do feel like sound and vision really connect in this weird way
Yeah.
Yeah.
that isn't often talked about.
Well, Leia, you listen to lyrics a lot.
I listen to a lot of lyrics, but I used to do this thing, actually, where it's interesting that you were talking about, like, painting and, like, trying to paint the color or whatever, like, which is really complicated, but I used to do this thing where I would just listen, or if I drew a lot in high school, and I still draw a lot, just sort of as, like, I don't know, like a fun meditational exercise that I do in my free time.
You're really good at it.
Thank you, Ria.
You're welcome.
And so when I was, like, feeling whatever artist block or whatever, didn't know what to draw, I would just turn on a song and then draw whatever came to mind with the song. Sometimes it had to do with the lyrics, but most of the time it was kind of just what I felt like the song felt like in, like, linear form, or like drawing form, if that makes sense. And then that would kind of get me out of this state of, like, not knowing what to draw. So I feel like I have that in some sense, where I, like, visualize things or visualize, like, certain designs or something when listening to music. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah. What about you, Ria? Do you like visualize anything when listening to certain songs?
Like, if I'm being honest, no. Like, if you asked me after the fact, I could probably, like, extrapolate it from my brain. Yeah. But, like, I'm really, like, an overall feel sound person. Like, I, for a really long time, never listened to lyrics. I just, like, I would know what it feels like for a song to feel in my throat, kind of. Like, even on the radio, listening to, like, Dua Lipa in, like, 2015, like, I would try and, like, guess what, like, the chorus would sound like based on what the song was earlier, because, like, I would, like, hum along and guess what the pattern sounded like in my body, and that's kind of, like, why I have different categories of music that I listen to. There's categories of music that I sing, and categories of music that I like to listen to, and I think that those genres are very different. Because I think that when I listen to songs that I want to listen to, it's for non-singing purposes. It's because I find it very, like, interesting, and I'm trying to understand what the artist was doing with their song themselves. But when it was for me, it's a lot more about what does it feel like to, like, live in the song in my body. But that's just me, and I don't listen to that much music. Anyways.
Well, I'm learning.
I'm acquiring
from people with very varying but immaculate taste.
Yeah, this is a song that I have heard before, which is, like, which is good.
Yeah, I feel like No Surprises is kind of like an introductory song to Radiohead for people who haven't been listening to it. And so I was actually, like, considering whether or not I should bring it, like, here. But then I felt like I could talk about it, because for me, it's not even about how the song sounds anymore, because originally it made me feel purple, right? But now it makes me feel like so much more beyond color, because it has so much sentimental value to me that, like, I could never, like, hate on it ever. It's never gonna sound bad to me. I could never. I mean, I could probably get sick of it if I listened to it too many times in a row.
Yeah.
But it's more like, you know, I feel like there's also like this kind of like culture against like nowadays where they're like music elitists, and they're like, oh, like you're listening to like normie music. And it's like, well, there's a reason that that's the normie music, and it's because it's palatable.
It's good.
It's palatable
Yeah.
and it's good. Like,
Popular music is popular for a reason.
yeah, I mean, like, I know, like, people like to say, like, I mean, I like to listen to a lot of Bjork. We're not going to listen to her today. But I feel like people are like, oh, well, Post and Debut are like, normie albums, and, like, you need to get into more of the experimental stuff. And I love the experimental stuff. But Post and Debut are good because they're good. Like, they're not just boring. Like, they just represent, like, someone at a different, like, stage of her music career, and this was what she was feeling then, and now we're enjoying it now, and you guys are saying, oh, well, it's kind of boring. And it's like, well, like, get a job, like. Sorry.
No, you're
True.
right. I see what you're saying.
Anyway, so that was my rant on normie music.
Yeah, no, there's a reason things are popular.
Yeah.
And if you actually dislike something for an actual reason,
Like,
Okay.
good.
like, okay, good, you're a critic.
But
That's
if it's-
great.
And also, if it's boring to you, you've probably, like, exhausted the spark. Like, right? Like, what you were saying, you could listen to
Yeah.
this song maybe 100, or no, not 100, like, maybe, like, 2,000 times and get bored of it. But, like,
It's still going to maintain its sentimental value to me.
yeah.
But the emphasis there is on to me,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be good to other people.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
that being said, Radiohead is good to a lot of people.
I agree. Do you want to get into your next song?
We can, I guess, yes. I think we're
Or
gonna,
were there more things that you wanted to say?
No, I think we can play them. There's two more, and I was going to play them together because I feel like I kind of have the same commentary on them.
Okay. That's
So,
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah, we're
Perfect.
Sounds like a plan.
back to back, I guess.
Sounds like a plan. We'll be right back after we play two other Radiohead songs.
Hey, it's me. I just got off the train. A frightening place. The faces are concrete gray, and I'm wondering, should I turn around? Buy another ticket. The panic is coming on strong, so call me inside out. No grid German message coming in, and you're so small. Glassy-eyed light of day, glassy-eyed light of day. The path trails off and heads down the mountain through the dry bush. I don't know where it leads, and I don't really care. The path trails off and heads down the mountain through the dry bush. I don't know where it leads, and I don't really care. I feel this love I feel this love to I'll drown my beliefs to have you, baby. I'll dress like an and wash your swollen feet. Don't leave. Don't leave. I'm not living. I'm just killing time. Your tiny hands your crazy kitten smile. Don't leave. Don't leave. True love waits in haunted attics. And true love lives on lollipops and crisps. Just don't leave. Don't
And we're back.
Yay.
If you're just tuning in, you're listening to WHPK, Chicago 88.5 FM, the pride of the South Side. This is Finders Keepers.
I'm Ria,
I'm Leia.
and today our special guest is...
Miles.
Hello, Miles. So if you're just tuning in, we've been playing a couple of Radiohead songs for the last hour.
Three.
Three is a couple.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
Actually,
It's a throuple.
my cognitive science class just had a debate about this. We won't get into it, but a couple can be more than two.
That's what I thought.
Isn't it a throuple?
That's what I thought.
That can be... It can
Okay, we've been
played
playing a
throuple
throuple of Radiohead songs. The last two being Glass Eyes and True Love Waits, back to back. What do you want to tell us about these two?
Well, I mean, I like these a lot. I mean, I was introduced to Radiohead before this album came out. I don't remember when it came out. I think it was like late. I'm gonna check right now just so I can give people like good information. Yeah, sorry. Moonhate. But I was introduced to this album also by my dad, same as every other Radiohead album. And 2016. So yeah, he listened to this a lot in the car because he would play a lot of music in the car. We kind of like drifted like in the middle of drifted as far as like a parent and a child can. Like, cause you know, I was like, you know, rebellious, etc. Not really. And yeah, I really did not appreciate Moonshaped Pool when it first came out. And now I found like a lot of appreciation for it, like being away from home for the first time, like for a while, obviously. And yeah, I really like Glass Eyes, and I really like this whole album because while it was playing, Leia said, you know, it's very ambient, but the ambience is not like making the music like background music. It's making it like it silences like all the static in your brain, and I really like it. And Glass Eyes is like about like loss, and I feel like True Love Waits is kind of like a bittersweet ending to that loss, where it's like you're like kind of reconnecting, but you're also losing, and it's like accepting with that. So I really like them both.
Yeah, no, it was definitely. I haven't listened to Radiohead that's like more recent. This is off their last album.
I think
correct?
this is their last album.
Okay. How long ago was that?
A long time, like 8 years. Almost.
Okay. Oh my god, Jesus. Time is passing too fast. It is not 2024. But yeah, no, this had a very different sound. I feel like if I heard this, I wouldn't be classifying Radiohead as like a rock band. This feels so much more mellow. This is like, and I think that's what, like you said, like makes the lyrics stand out more, or each lyric. I feel like there's definitely not that many lyrics, but each lyric feels more significant or elevated in this way that you don't really get with earlier songs, which is so interesting.
Yes.
The words are, like, for me, the words I wrote down are just, like, gorgeous. And also, I think, even though the songs sound really mellow, they're so playful. Like, when I imagine, like, when I hear, like, the piano and, like, when certain sounds are added in, like, sometimes, like, me and my roommate, Billy Johnson, will go to a piano and Billy does this really well. Like, we'll just, like, pretend play piano because we don't know how. And a lot of the times, like, that, you end up, like, playing the same pattern of notes. You start playing the same rhythm, but you just, like, change one note at a time. And that is, like, what I heard in Glass Eyes. Actually, no, that's what I heard in True Love Waits a lot. And then you just heard, like you hear, like, something that sounds kind of like a phone ringtone come in. And it reminds me a lot of, like, when I went to open mics this summer, like, live loopers, like, live DJs would, like, they're just adding sounds that are kind of ambient that they think sound cool. And, like, besides the words, that's literally what the instrumentation of this song sounds like. And I feel like I could, like, see somebody, like, mixing this and making it in real time, which makes it feel very, like, visceral. And like you said, so not, like, just ambient noise. It's, like, it's very engaging,
I feel like it's less ambient noise and it's more, like, intimate noise, I want to say. Like, you put your headphones on, you listen to this, and it's like there's like everyone else is like erased from around you. It's like being in like a huge city, and there's not a single person out. And I feel like it low key, like, it doesn't matter what the lyrics are saying. It's still like really, really beautiful. It's like everything is frozen, and like you're like under like a mountain of like dew that's just frozen on top of you, and the only thing that's keeping you alive is like the really really mellow piano, and I like it a lot. So, but True Love Waits, I felt like when I was like thinking about bringing it here, I was actually like, like trying to think about like more productive things to say other than, my personal experience with it. And I found it really interesting that it, it's actually not a song from 2016. Like it took like, I want to say about 20 years to come out. It's like been performed at their concerts a lot, but the lead singer, Tom York, he never thought it was good enough to be put on an album. So this was the studio version, and if you go on like a streaming service, you can find like the Live in Oslo version, which is done on guitar, which is what they normally do. And I think that version is really beautiful also, but it's different. Like this one is like an enforced silence. It's like there's only the piano. There's like little flickers of higher pitched piano in the back, but other than the voice and the piano, you're like isolated in like a really silent soundscape. Whereas like with the with the live versions, it's a guitar, which is like, in guitar and piano are similar in that you can make the same chords, but like when the strings on a guitar vibrate, like they create like a lot more like static, I want to say.
It's like a harsher, like more abrasive sound.
Yeah, but like I would say like harsher in the nicest way possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Positively harsh.
Yeah, it
There's a word for
fills
that.
the space a lot more than like the soft like bongs of like a piano, where it's like
That's more isolating, I feel like. Or like it lets the... I feel like it lets the voice come through in this way where a guitar kind of restricts that.
Yeah.
Not restricts, but like... You know what I mean.
And also like when you perform it live, they would perform it generally like around the end of the concert, so his voice was strained, and it was a lot more raw. And I feel like if you listen to the guitar, I love both versions. If you listen to the live version, it sounds like a raw goodbye, whereas like this like isolating like piano version, it's like studio recorded, is like it's kind of like a dream of a goodbye. And so a dream is like a lot more controlled, whereas like the raw goodbye is like, whatever emotions come out are gonna come out, and you can't really erase the past. Whereas like a dream is like very low consequence in retrospect. Obviously when you're dreaming, it's low key not low consequence. But yeah, and I just found like I really like this song also because again, like it reminds me of the fact that like I enjoy the song sonically, but I could see how my dad, being someone who's like struggled with depression and a lot of the themes that Radiohead songs discuss for a long time, as far as I know, I could see how he could resonate with them, not only sonically but lyrically. And so I think this comes full circle into the fact that this has been like our major bonding point for much of my life. Music, like for my birthday, which was last Friday.
Happy late birthday.
Thanks. He wanted to buy me a speaker, and I was like, I don't like to share my music with my neighbors, or even like with the whole space of my room, which he likes to listen to music out loud. And so I just found it very, like, I am not a huge fan of birthdays. Like, I'm not like, I don't know how to explain it, but he really wanted to get me a speaker, and I wanted to say yes. I just felt like it wouldn't get used. And I think he has been feeling less loved by me lately. Wait, in like, not less loved, but I feel like he misses me because I've been away. I mean, now obviously I was home over New Year's, but I've been away from home for almost 2 months now, and obviously I'm like the funniest of my siblings and the most personable and the least demented. So my presence is obviously missed in our very small apartment, and I mean, True Love Waits does have very sad lyrics. I will say that, but to me, it's kind of like a call home, where it's like a hug almost, because of like the isolating piano. Like the piano is hugging me, and in the same sense that the piano is hugging me, it's like a hug from my dad, and so it's like pretty sentimental. And then like not over the summer, in I want to say in June of last year. We got matching tattoos. Well, actually, I had the idea for a tattoo based on Radiohead's Amnesiac album, which was the little crying minotaur on the album art. If you look it up, I think it's cute. It's a little like cartoonish, but it's on my ribs. It was really painful. And he really liked it, and he did not know how to ask if he could get the same one. And I was like, oh, you're just jealous. That drove him up the wall. But I told him I would be happy if he got the same one. So he got the same one on his shoulder. And that was my first tattoo on my ribs. Very painful. I felt like getting tasered. 0 out of 10. Well, 0 out of 10 on the comfort scale.
Yeah.
So obviously that minotaur, I just liked how it looked. But that minotaur like represents like being stuck in like a maze of depression. And I personally don't think I think I've been a pretty happy person most of my life. And I can kind of attribute that to the sacrifices of my parents. So, you know, being able, like, seeing how my dad, like, likes the music he likes, and I like the same music, but we like it for completely different reasons, and yet we can both bond on the fact that we like the music, and we can both sit in silence and listen to it, and both be happy from it. I feel like that, like, Radiohead is, like, a super sentimental artist because of that, so...
That's beautiful. That's like so special.
I know that's a, I don't know, beautiful reason for liking these songs.
I think that's anything an artist ever
now,
wants also.
Yeah, now you have like this sort of, permanent, I guess, reminder of that like relationship to the music, but also like your dad.
Yeah. I felt comfortable getting that tattoo because I felt like, you know, I don't think there's going to be a time where I don't at least cherish my relationship with Radiohead. If somehow I got sick of it in 20 years, I still think I would appreciate the fact that I loved it in the past, and, like, my love for it is a love that I share with my dad. And, like, it kind of it's emblematic of the love between me and my dad. So, I don't think it was a bad decision to get the tattoo. Even if it might fade a little badly, just because it's line art.
It's so cute.
It's adorable.
But it is funny that it is like supposed to symbolize like a minotaur giving up and like breaking down because he can't escape his labyrinth. The labyrinth being depression, and I'm not a depressed person, I'd like to think. So I guess if I become depressed, I can kind of look at it and be like, I'm not going to be the minotaur right now. I'm going to try and, I guess, escape.
Yeah. Oh, so beautiful, Miles.
Sorry for being like the best guest ever.
Yeah.
Don't apologize. Wow.
This song also is like, I'm just looking back over my notes. It's so, I'm thinking about like how there's like so few lyrics. You know,
it is an empty song.
It's very empty. It's so, and also, but that being said, like, they're so noticeable because he's delivering every line, like, so particularly, like, so raw. You can, and what you were saying about it being performed live and it being a different type of raw than it is here, like, I still, like, I think every lyric was delivered so differently. And like, I was like, it sounds like he's on the verge of tears for a lot of them. And I really appreciate that it just sounds like an instrument. I think you were saying this about No Surprises, but it kind of fades in and out of the song. You know, it kind of feels like just like another one of the instruments that's also fading in and out of the song, like another sound, but like, it doesn't detract at all from, like, what you were saying was the intimate noise. I feel like a lot of times, like, words can feel like they cut through a song and get rid of the sonic experience, but this one, like, it's just such a compliment. It's, I don't know.
I think it's a masterpiece, and I feel like that's why they finally felt comfortable releasing it on an album after so long. And you pulled up the lyrics. I'm not gonna lie, I can't sing along to most of the lyrics because a lot of the time when I cherish a song so much, I become like so like enraptured with like the song itself that I just don't bother to sing along. Like there's definitely songs that I like can sing every word because they're just so fun to sing along to.
Yeah.
But this is like a song where you like want to be sung to and not sing along.
Yeah.
And pulling up the lyrics, I mean, there's like the first stanza you'd call it.
Yeah.
Is it's like he's expressing like androgyny. I'll drown my beliefs to have your babies. Like obviously, he's not gonna be pregnant. And I'll dress like your niece and wash your swollen feet. Like there's religious imagery there. There's inversion of gender roles there, and it's just I feel like that's really beautiful. I feel like it's poetry put to music, but the
Yeah.
music itself is poetic to me. And I feel like the artists I cherish most are those where like you remove the words and it has meaning, and you remove the music and it has meaning, and you put them together and it's like
A
Yeah.
whole new meaning.
it's like you like are like temporarily incapacitated. And I just and I really like the last like major stanza, like where it's like true love lives on lollipops and crisps.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's like
Those are such whimsical words.
it is whimsical, and it's like no matter what, like if you really love someone, whether that's a parent or like a significant other, like that is gonna transcend no matter what kind of gift you receive or whatever small actions are between you two. And I think that was really beautiful, and I listened to this last night, and I don't really cry, but like I teared up imaginarily, like low key. Like I'm not a crier, but
In your head.
it is a song that I would respect myself for crying to,
Yeah.
because it is really, really beautiful, no matter which way you take it and whichever version they perform it. And I am very appreciative of the fact that they decided to release it, instead of it just being buried in the archives.
I really appreciate the words you use when you talk about how you listen to music, and like incapacitated I think is a really interesting word to use, and it makes me want to ask you, do you listen to music like as you walk through campus, or is music very much like you need to sit down and focus on the music you're listening to, or is it also like a passive experience for you, or do you have different artists for those things?
I would say I have different artists for those. I mean, if you look at my top artists, like on like some site that like can track your Spotify listening, like my top artists of all time, they're pretty varied. I mean, there's like some rap, there's some pop, a lot of experimental. There is Radiohead. I think Radiohead's number 3 or number 2. It's up there. And I feel like I can listen to Radiohead walking to class, but I've also like recently I've taken to walking to class in silence, because I've just like I've been feeling like very like static right now, not in like a negative way, just like I was really like appreciating like just like the sound of like the air, and like obviously the trees aren't making much noise because there's not many leaves on them, but it's still like a nice noise. So like if I'm listening to this song, it's because I kind of want to distract myself from the world, whereas if I'm like kind of taking in the world, I don't tend to listen to music. But yeah, this is like, sometimes if you're not listening to it for a distraction, you can kind of appreciate it more, because when you're listening to it for a distraction, it's kind of like the music is giving you a massage. Whereas if you're listening to it out of like the pureness of wanting to listen to it and like for the pleasure of that, then like it's a lot more intimate, I feel like. So yeah.
As a lover of these songs, it makes like, I don't know, some sense to me that you also enjoy just listening to like the wind and like the world around you, because that's a sort of ambience that's maybe not intimate but is like just as engaging, in a different way.
It can be intimate.
It can be,
I think it could
can be
be,
very
yeah.
intimate, but I like,
Yeah.
as opposed to like the song, like
Yeah.
as opposed to True Love Waits, maybe it's different.
No, yeah, I also feel the same way, that I have like, or at least in some ways, the music I listen to as like a form of transportation, or like to help me while I'm moving around, is so distinct from like a sort of active listening I take on when I'm actually like sitting down or like thinking about something, or like feeling the music like wash over me rather than like having it sort of accompany me. I think that's super interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
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 Sorry.
No, don't apologize. Do you have anything else you want to say?
I don't know. I mean, I guess, like, as a final note, since I'm probably gonna make my dad listen to this in the archives, I just, like, I don't know. I think that, like, my love for him, like, transcends music. I think that music is, like, a good conduit for it, but I feel like sometimes he feels, like, less loved by me, because he hasn't seen me in a while, and he thinks, like, I only want him there for, like, disastrous times as, like, a crutch, but sometimes I'd, like, it's, like, nice to have him there, not as a crutch, but as, like, just, like, you know, as someone who I love dearly and who I feel like I've drifted from a little bit, so, yeah.
Aww.
Sorry, I'm tearing up a little bit.
Aw, it's okay.
I'm not gonna cry.
No, that yeah,
But
but you can if you need to.
It's okay.
Like, we'll make it into a song or something.
Yay.
Yay.
So,
That was beautiful, and I'm so glad that you felt comfortable sharing that.
Yeah, this has been so lovely to spend an hour. Can you believe it's been almost an hour of just us talking about Radiohead?
yes.
There's a lot more
Yes.
to talk about, I'm sure.
There's a lot more to talk about, I'm sure, that we'll get to at another time. But yeah, do you want us to... Wait, I'd actually love to hear, if you haven't, I'd love to hear, like, a bit of the live version or something.
We could play it as, like, a finisher.
That's what
Yeah,
I think.
let's
That would
play
be
it to
lovely.
close
I was
out.
thinking about that.
Because now that my eyes are a little wet, we could play the rawer version.
Wait, what is it? What?
It's True Love Waits
True
live
Love
in Oslo.
Waits Oslo. Is that the best
Yeah.
one? Okay.
All right, True Love Waits, live in Oslo by Radiohead. This has been Finders Keepers, and I'm Ria,
I'm Leia.
and
Miles.
Thank you so much, Miles. We had a blast with you today.
Thank you
So
for having me.
anytime, literally come back.
next
No,
week,
every
Thursday at 2
show,
p.m.
just Miles.
Finders Keepers with Miles with guests Leia and Ria.
Yeah.
Ooh, switching it up. Okay. Okay, so here is True Love Waits live in Oslo.
I'll drown my beliefs Thank you, everybody. Good night.